time for me to have a sound-off session, if you will, and I hope you'll bear with me and that you might be interested somewhat in what I have to say, and that maybe it will cause some deep thought about so many of the fear theories that go around on the internet, particularly here on YouTube. YouTube is really an amazing place, and it's allowed many people to be very creative and to do things and share things that they create in a way really never before thought possible. However, it has also brought a lot of, how can I say it, weirdos out of the woodwork. In the short time that I've been following conspiracy theories and fear-mongering on the internet, there has been the BP oil spill in the Gulf, which in and of itself was a horrible tragedy. But when you look at all the fear-mongering that went along with it, that was really a tragedy too, because it really screwed up a lot of people's lives. And it gave the, what I call fear whores, the opportunity to go out there and play on people's emotions while racking up numbers to gain more ad revenue for their pockets. What am I talking about in respect to the BP oil spill? Well, as I said, that was a great tragedy, and it truly was, and things will probably never be the same down there after that. But I remember how intense the fear-mongering was. The whole Gulf was going to collapse. There was going to be this massive explosion of methane that destroyed the Gulf Coast and would kill millions and millions of people very, very far inland, and on and on and on. And when that died down, there came the Mayan debacle. You know, so many people bought into that, and so many people fed the fear machine to scare people and to make themselves look big. You know what really is interesting about this? These idiots that put up these videos, when they're wrong, they leave the videos up forever and ever and ever, proving that they're wrong, but people still click on them, and the people still get ad revenue from them. Anyways, there was the Mayan thing, and then after the Mayan thing, or before it, was the Harold Camping thing. Anybody that read their Bible who knew anything about how the rapture of the church is supposed to take place would have known that Harold Camping was an idiot that was just misleading people and taking their money, feeding the fear and gaining money from it. Then there was Elenin, the extinction level event. What craziness surrounded that simple little comet. Total craziness. It was supposed to be a spaceship intelligently controlled. One pastor even claimed that it was a spaceship filled with angels and the Lord Jesus Christ returning to take his own with them. Oh, my. Well, after Elenin, then of course there were the weird sounds worldwide. One person put up a video, and I bet you it wasn't even 2 days, and there were hundreds of videos up with people replicating it, and these weird sounds worldwide that signaled the end of the world. Don't hear too much about that anymore, do we? Let's see, after that, Comet Ison. Another one. It was supposed to have been an intelligently designed spaceship, a mothership housing thousands of entities. It was supposed to be the planet Nibiru, Planet X. It was supposed to have had satellites orbiting around it. All these incredible claims made about it. And it went around the sun and it went poof. And now, after that happened, the fearmongers like BP Earth Witch and Pastor Paul Bugley still go on and prattle on about it, that we're going to go through its debris trail and that the shrapnel from it is going to destroy Earth, it's going to kill millions of people, and that the plagues of the past that so allegedly accompanied comets in the past, allegedly, that we were going to have those again, and that was supposed to happen by January 15th, and now we're into February. But they always find a way out. They always find a way out. And they always find something else to move on to. And they always find a willing audience to listen. I don't understand why people so desperately want to buy into fear. These people seem like BP Earthwitch and Pastor Paul Bugley, and I'm changing their names slightly because I don't like using people's exact names, but I'm sure most of you out there know who I'm speaking of. They move on to other things, and they never admit they're wrong. There was another fear story that the pastor I mentioned had on a couple years ago now, I believe. He went on his little YouTube thing and claimed that in the Philippines that natives were being rounded up and they were being forced to take the RFID chip in the hand or wherever on the body, and that those that weren't were being shot and killed on the spot. Got a lot of people really upset about it. But you know what? Never happened. Did you ever hear him admit that he was wrong? No. Because these people will never admit that they're wrong. And then they'll jump on to the next thing, to feed fear. My goodness. These science fiction movies of the 50s were better than what these people can do, and yet so many buy into it because they seem to want to live in an altered reality. And now, there's a new one. It followed the classic pattern. There's the snow that won't melt, the fake snow that whatever powers that be are showering down on us, so to speak. There was one video put up not long ago, and I swear the next day there were at least 100 with people out there mindlessly with their blowtorches trying to melt snow and showing how it won't melt. Same old crap. And I'll tell you what, these people will have to admit they're wrong come the dog days of summer, July or August, because I'll guarantee you those folks in Georgia that were making these claims and the folks right here in Michigan that were making these claims, well, they're not going to have any snow left on the ground because you know what? It's going to melt. It's going to. I'm not saying there's not chemicals in it from the chemtrails and all that stuff. There's bound to be chemicals in it. But come on, people. The snow doesn't melt. There was a video from my area on this fake snow. I had to laugh because I was in a drugstore waiting to pick up a prescription, and I was sitting there, and their nice clean floor was totally messed up from my boots and the snow that wouldn't melt, melting all over their floors. I can't understand why people buy into this. You know, if you want to know how this world is going to conclude, the simple and most reliable source, honestly, whether you like it or not, is the Bible, the Word of the true and living God. Because it tells it, and it doesn't fearmonger. It gives a way out for anybody who wants to listen and believe. See, the proof of a prophet should be that he or she is 100% right all the time. But all these prophets of doom, I've not seen one that's been right. The prophets of the Bible have been 100% right and 100% right on. You want to know how this world's going to end? Go to the Bible and look. Study it out. It's simple. It's there. But I'll give you a crash course on it, okay? Jesus is coming back. Whether you believe it or not, he is. All the signs were given, and all the signs are here. But nobody knows when. And don't fall into this trap that, oh, we know that it's going to be on one of the feasts because Jesus meant to say this. Don't listen to anybody that tells you what was meant. Believe what was written. Anyways, after Christ comes, there's a 7.5-year period of tribulation, or a 7-year period, of tribulation. And at the end of that is the Battle of Armageddon. But that's not the end of the world, because the world still doesn't end for at least 1,000 years. Because we're told in the Bible that after that battle, Christ's righteous kingdom is going to be set up on earth, and he will rule in complete righteousness that we've never known before for 1,000 years. And at the end of that 1,000 years, we're told that Satan and his demons who were bound up after Armageddon, who were bound up and cast into the lake of fire, are going to be unloosed for a short time again. Doesn't say how long that short time is, but for a short time. And amazingly, there are still going to be idiots who want to follow him, who want to follow fear-mongering, and who will go to Satan and his people instead of God after they've been ruled by him for 1,000 years in complete righteousness. Then, after that's completed, then is when the world ends. But you know what? Even that's not the end, because what happens then is that the world is, and the universe, everything is recreated to be the way it was before Adam and Eve sinned and fell in the Garden of Eden and brought the sin curse upon not just upon man and woman, but upon everything that was created. When it's recreated, after that 1,000 years and that brief period, then we will be able to know what truly life was meant to be like for us when God made us. We'll know the purpose of the billions of stars that are out there. We'll know the purpose that he had truly intended for you and I. Of course, if you would rather, you can spend your days believing fearmonger, going out and putting a blowtorch to snow to see if it melts, watching a shooting star across the sky and then running in and reporting it to the BP Earth Witch that, oh my gosh, it's shrapnel from Ison. You can believe in all the extinction level events because the prophets of doom on the internet have been so correct, haven't they? Or you can take charge of your life and you can quit clicking on them and quit believing their garbage and get on with life. Go to the Bible, accept Christ, and move on into life and what it was meant to be. Okay, I've prattled on enough. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sure I'll get some derogatory comments, and that's okay. But thanks for taking the time to listen.